Your car is towed. You'll need a tow back to pit lane.
Hello, welcome back for another video. This time we're in the Porsche 911 GT3R. This is Rudskogen Motor Sports Centre or Motor Park Centre, something like that. I'm not too sure what it's actually called. All I know is this track kind of sucks in cars like this. It's much better in smaller cars, I feel. It's okay to hot lap in a car like this, but not to race. I recently ran it in the SR10, the radical thing, and yeah, just no thank you. Unfortunately, we have no choice. It is now the VRS Sprint and the Fanatec GT3 challenge for the B-Class licensing this week, and this is our first chance at actually progressing from B to A-Class. We previously actually had the rating to progress, but because we hadn't completed our MPR requirements for the license, well, yeah, we didn't get a chance to promote, and we saw that it was going to take another 2 weeks before we were going to have a track that we could actually race on in B-Class to get a license, so we decided to go full ham and just completely donate some safety rating and iRating as usual. And now that we can actually take part in some B-Class races, we're looking to earn it back so that we can actually progress to our A-Class license finally. So this is the first time that we've actually got to race this car in about 5 months. We bought it when we progressed from our rookie license to D license. We bought this along with the Ferrari GT3 so we could do the Ferrari GT3 challenges. And also we bought this so that when we'd give it something to progress for, like something to look forward to once we progress through D class to C class and C class to B class and so on. I've actually got the BMW LMDH for the same reason at the minute. It's so I've got something to look forward to when I progress from B to A and so on and so on. Anyway, I digress. Here is my first race in the Porsche 911 GT3R, or at least my first ranked race anyway. I hope you enjoy.
About to go green, stay focused. The pace car is off, be ready.
Now, somehow, that was my best ever rolling car start from when I got starting first. And it was more than accidental because I actually lifted off a little bit. I thought he was going and I didn't think he was going, but he was actually going. It was just because he was going around the outside, he looked like he wasn't going, you know. So somehow I got away with it. I've got to be very careful on this first lap with the cold tyres, especially around this corner here. I noticed in practice I like to go into this corner backwards a lot of the time on cold tyres. Very careful here. Once the tyres warm up, it's not so much of a problem. Now, this corner I struggle with quite a bit. Steering angle getting steeper and steeper. Just not really I just cannot feel the car in certain places at all. You can't, like, the steering's either on or off with the force feedback with this car, I feel. It's either at full power or it's at no power on the force feedback, so you can't really tell if you've got grip or not. I'm kind of just guessing with the steering angle a lot of the time. Just going and trying to go off the noise of the tyres and stuff, and it's a problem I feel with iRacing in general. Now, I don't use that FFB or the iRacing force feedback, a third party thing that people have developed. I do want to have a go at that at some point to see what it feels like, because, well, the standard iRacing force feedback leaves a hell of a lot to be desired, especially considering the amount of money that people spent on this game. You'd think they'd have actually made an attempt to at least address it, but it seems it's still from 2008 or whenever this game was made. Yeah. A little bit of a slide going in there. I do have the Ferrari GT3, which I think I might try that at some point soon on here instead of the Porsche, just to get a feel, but I'm going to try it with the Fix series, which is this one that I'm racing here, the Fanatec GT3 Fix series. Because I've been using this for the VRS as well. I did I've done 2 VRS races now actually, the 40-minute version of this race. with the one mandatory pit, well, not mandatory pit stop, but the pit stop involved, because you just don't have enough fuel available otherwise. And I quite enjoyed it, but again, not really good with the tuning setups and stuff. First time actually really tuning the car on iRacing and getting the feel. Stay defensive against this Beamer, who gets way too aggressive sometimes, as you're going to see later on. In fact, this Beamer is going to be a massive chaos causer in this race, to be quite honest. It causes some chaos near the beginning, near the end, and then he has a lot to say for himself after the race. And not in a good way either. Like, he tries to blame things like here, like you can see he's trying to get his nose in with that door's closing. Like, you can't stick just the tiny bit of your nose in. That does not class as being there, right? Now watch the rearview mirror here. I'm closing the door because I've gone a bit wide, and that straight into the back of me. Turns me around. I get a 2x for the loss of control. Now I rejoin safely here. I go right over to the edge of the track, away from the racing line, and the BMW just squeezes people towards me. He rejoins straight onto the racing line in front of people, and later on apparently that's my fault. I closed the door when he was already there, but we're going to see later exactly what happened to that, and exactly what he has to say for himself about it, because he's very adamant that was entirely my fault, and that he was already there. Which, judging from that angle, you can't really tell what happened. So at first I'm just like, yeah, whatever, well done buddy, whatever, you know. Now carry on, here we are, just going to carry on, try and get those positions back, try and salvage whatever we can from this race. It's only a 2x, we can live with that, that's fine. Try and at least get this McLaren now, so we can get back onto the back of this BMW. Take that position back from him. Clara gets very close to the back of the Audi there. Thought there might have been an accident coming. This corner here always worries me, that first left-hander of these, because it's very easy to slip out just a little bit wide there, and then, well, yeah, people like BMW think it's a great idea to ram into the back of you to try and close the door. So it's my only experience with people like that so far, to be fair. I mean, it's not going to be the it's not going to be the worst rejoin of the race that BMW does, that's for sure, or the worst thing that BMW does for the race. I'm pretty sure you'll see that later, as well as the lovely chap that he has. 1:22.6 is here. It's an okay race time for us. We feel like that's an okay pace, right? You know, we're not too shabby with that pace. Try at least get it down to a 1:22.0 if we can, but we have to get past these guys first. So we're gonna have to keep slowing down in certain corners for these. Some places they're faster, some places not. And also we get things like this. Look at that. I mean, like, yeah. Don't know what McLaren was trying to do with the Audi there. That was never going to work. That was another case of the McLaren getting way too close and almost sticking his nose in. Now thankfully he backed out of that. He was smarter than that, rather than try and say, well, I was there because my front bumper was there, you know. Now I don't know what racing series that Beamer watches in real life, but any of the GT series except for one that I watch, which just doesn't seem to have any fucking rules whenever I watch it, is half a car length, no more. If you're not half a car length up, you pull your nose out of the corner, basically. Because if that person wants to start turning in and closing that door, it's well within their right mind to do that. And if you don't back out, you don't have to, and you don't back out, it's your problem, not theirs. I mean, obviously you got to be within a reason of that. You can't just say like everybody should back out all the time, all that sort of stuff. But again, like this is you'll see. Like it's just. I wasn't too bothered about this happening. Like I said, at first it was just like, yeah, whatever. I lost a couple of positions, we'll get it back. It's a 2x, it's not the end of the world. I don't mind 2x. I'm usually giving myself at least a 2-3x from just running off the track. In general, you know. Really got to find a way past this McLaren. Now they're just taking some strange lines through there. I guess trying to. Well, I think that Audi might be scared McLaren might hit him from every now and then, which is fine. That happens. And I'm just trying to be careful as McLaren. I'm not quite sure what he's gonna do. Saw that move with the Audi, we might try something a bit dodgy, so got to be prepared for that.
22.434.
Yeah, break nice and early, let the McLaren have plenty of room. And he does exactly what I thought he'd eventually do. He just seems to be getting a bit too close to the back of the Audi at times. Like, it's fine being really close to the back of somebody, but there's like moments where being that close is probably a bad idea. Like, you know. Now that one there, he just kind of like goes into the back of the Audi. Probably not expecting the Audi to be going quite as slow as he is, so that happens a little bit. But I get my positions back from that, and now I get to push on and try and catch this BMW, who's now up into 4th. The guy in first in this race, Shea Harris, I think he's called. He was very rapid. There was no catching him, that's for sure.
1 minute 23.
I remember actually I had a race, I think it was the next race after this, on the VRS 40 minutes. And again, he was actually in that race right at the front again. And he had a lot of drama in his race. Very similar to what happened with me in this BMW. I really don't like these S-bends. Like, I just get them all wrong all the time. Really struggle to find what's the most appropriate way to take them. Like, what's a good entry speed to take them, right? You don't want to go in too fast because then you're not going to make the S's but you can be all over the place. And that's the thing I'm struggling with. Like, well, am I entering them too fast? Am I taking too much mid-corner speed? You know, like, as this Porsche over here is having quite a bit of difficulty, which I don't blame him. Like I say, I had a lot of difficulty with the Porsche as well when I was driving this. I've driven it for 3 races now, and well, yeah, every time I've had massive difficulty with just feeling what the front tyres are doing. It's not even the rear tyres, it's the front tyres. I just cannot feel what the front tyres are doing at all, almost.
1 minute 22.123.
I mean, we're still doing 122.1s, even though we're sort of guessing with steering angles, and sort of we're trying to do it like kind of from memory as well. And that's where things start getting. You kind of know, like, there's something wrong with your force feedback, or something wrong with the game's force feedback. Let's just say thank you there for letting me pass. There's just something really wrong with it. Definitely gonna have to try that iRacing force feedback third party thing that's been developed by other people, because it's just ridiculous. And the one thing I also noticed in the 40-minute races with that, I noticed it a lot towards the end of this race too, but more than the 40-minute ones, right? So the 40-minute ones I didn't bother changing tyres in the pit stop. I just took a little bit of fuel and went back out. And 40 minutes of trying to guess what your front tyres are doing equals 40 minutes of destroying your front tyres. And well, by the end of the race, I'm still somehow doing like 123s at the end of a 40-minute race with these destroyed front tyres, but there is zero feeling in it by the time I've finished. It's literally entirely guesswork and listening to just what the tyres are trying to tell me. This Lambo behind us is looking rather quick. Definitely want to try and escape from him, but I don't think that's going to happen. This is like really starting to struggle with this tyre now. Which is, it's kind of strange when you're driving it, because you look down and you see your times are still the same and stuff like that, but the feeling's so much different, you know, like, you've gone from having some feeling to, I mean, look how much steering I'm putting. I can't really tell what the tyres are doing whatsoever now, but at this point, it feels like there is no tyres on the car anymore. It just feels like I'm just driving around on grease or something. Something that will stop you having any sort of feeling in the car. Now, I've changed my force feedback settings in practice sessions so many different times trying to get something worked out with this car, which I had to do with the Ferrari GT3 as well. I had to play around with force feedback and use custom controls of that car as well, just to get it to a point where I could feel it, or feel at least something happening. Because it's not the rear tyres. The rear tyre, you can feel the rear tyres very well with the Porsche, so that's fine. And when you play, I play other games, even like BeamMG. Now, yes, it's a simulator. It's got all the good stuff. It's not the best or anything, right? It's more of a soft body and like a suspension and a physics simulator in that sort of sense. Yet it has way better force feedback than iRacing. It makes me really mad this game sometimes with certain things. Like, you look, every time you look online, you see the 6,000 concurrent online players playing the game at that very moment. You think to yourself, that's 6,000 people that's paid at least $13 to be playing the game right now. Not to mention the amount that they spend over the years or time, etc. on the cars, tracks, just the membership. You think about how many people have bought cars, tracks. I mean, every person that you're looking at in this race right now has bought at least a car, because it's track free, but none of the cars are. None of them. So that's at least what, $12 per car or $13 per car or something. So you're looking at what, there was like 20. No, I think there was 16 people in this race. I think there was only 16 in this one. That's 16 people that paid $13 for the membership and $12 for a car. And there's X amount of splits per race as well. Some of the bigger races, there's plenty of splits. I've been in races where there's like 12, 13 splits, and it's just been like, what the hell? And I just think to myself, all that money that you put in, the only thing you do is add content. You don't really improve much about the game. Your website's still calling from 2005 and asking for its website back. Your UI system, it looks okay, it's doable. I don't actually mind UI, it's fine. There's definitely a lot worse off at it. Yeah, but the force feedback, come on guys. Like, it's one of the main things in a sim racing game, and you're just not bothering with it. Look at this, I can't feel what the tyres are doing or anything. And I don't have that issue with any other game that I play racing. There's even arcade games that I've used the wheel with just for a bit of fun to see does it actually work and stuff like that. That have had way better force feedback. But I still understand at least what the car is doing, rather than just having to go on entire visual and auditory cues basically of what the car's doing. And then to constantly drive it around like this, it's just, I don't know, like, it does make me wonder, why do I spend money on this game for this? Like, the racing itself is just, it's great, for the most part. I'd still say if you go to LFM or ACC, you're going to find better driving standards because, well, that game promotes no contact whatsoever. Whereas this one, it doesn't exactly promote that. It promotes soft contact, right? Like you're allowed to bump draft and shit. Like there comes in this BMW with his awesome rejoin again.
Slow down. You got a penalty for cutting the course.
Which again, I thought, what was that rejoin?
Car on your left.
And the only reason he gives it up there is because he knows for a fact I'm going to protest him after the race. He's already punted me around. He's just done some dumbass rejoin. And after, well, I've already said to him in the chat, if you see. Unfortunately, I had my chat turned off. I'm not too sure what I've done to my auditory thing in the replay system and all that, but it doesn't record my voice or the crew keys voice. Like if I go into replay, it doesn't tell me car right, car left, so on, lap time, all that sort of stuff. Like you can hear my crew chief telling me and stuff. It doesn't actually say that, so I don't know what's in there, but I'll figure that out. I'm pretty sure I've just clicked some random button somewhere and just accidentally turned it off, but never mind. So now we're back in third after Mr. Chaos Causer has had his spin and almost killed me on the process again. That's the second bad rejoin of this race. After, oh yeah, near the race he also told me very good look on my driving standards. I'm not a good driver. I try to stay safe and clean, that's about it. I'm not fast, that's all I can do, right? I want to try and be consistent and clean. I don't really care for speed at the moment. If I end up in places where I'm up like number 1 or number 2 or whatever for that race, cool, awesome. I was fast for a race, felt great. Probably in bottom split when that happens, but that's fine. I've got to win something. But for the most part, I'm all here for consistency and clean racing. I would much rather focus on being as clean as possible, consistent as possible to begin with, and then develop the speed over time after that. Which is something that actually, you see the progress in over time anyway. Like you probably don't, so it's not something you probably see through a video, it's something you witness like as a personal thing. For instance, when I was doing practice for this race, I couldn't get better than a 1:22.9, I think it was. For the first like 5 or 6 flying laps I was doing like 1:23.4 and 1:22.9 was like my best, and then I was still on doing 1:23.0, 1:23.6 and stuff, like a bit all over the place and stuff. Couldn't really figure out where I'm turning, where I'm not turning, that sort of thing. As something happens to the guy behind him, actually see what happened there. But never mind, it's unfortunate. He is gone, and there's the checker flag. So yeah, we're going to get to review what this BMW is going to do. What he has to say, because it's something. I don't even know what to say about this. Well, you're going to see, so.
Nice run. Solid work.
So yeah, I'm just looking through the replay real quick. I can't remember exactly what I'm looking at through this part of the replay, but then I see the message in chat. Why did you close the door when I was there? I think I was just like looking through, seeing what happened to the Beamer here. Yeah. So this is his last rejoin, right? His last rejoin. Now obviously this is not the view I have. So this is all I see, is I see a BMW all of a sudden just park in the middle, turn around like that, like what the hell was that? Nice rejoin, bro. You know. Definitely a protestable rejoin. So that's the first one. And I'm like, okay, that was just fucked up. I don't know what the guy was thinking there. And then that's when I actually realised, oh wait, it's actually the same BMW that punted me around. And then I see this, brother, why did you close the door when I was there? Well, let's go see, shall we? Was you actually there? Because at the moment, I'm kind of unsure. I feel like I closed the door at the right time and that I was kind of in my right, but at the same time, you know, I don't want to comment. I don't actually know, so I'm going to go have a quick look, right? What did I close it? Alright, it's not this lap, it's the next lap. Did I close the door on him? So I see here I'm already defensive against the BMW, so it's like, yeah, it's this lap, because it's this lap he decides to do it. So here we are, going down to the thing, and slow it down. See here, I go a bit wide, no problem. Start closing the door, bam! Just drives into me, like literally just straight up drives into me. Like I don't even know what else to say there. Like, I mean, just drives into me. I don't know what else to say. Apparently, this is all my fault, and yeah. I put here, like, this doesn't count as being there, but what really I should have been said is driving into me doesn't count. Let's watch that again. So one of the parts about this is, you can see here, look, he's got room on the inside here. Still, he can still go up onto the curb. He hasn't even gone onto the curb just yet, right? And he's crashed into me. He says, "I'm there. I've closed the door on him." I've actually noticed he says I closed the door twice on him on there, but I mean, I clearly don't, because it seems I only hit him once. Technically, I hit him, right? Because I closed the door on him when he was there. According to him, I used air quotes there that he was there, because clearly he wasn't. He's literally just drove into the back and turned me around. Now, I mean, he tells me to rewatch it here. Again, I came to the same conclusion. There was no point rewatching. Well, I did rewatch it, but there was no point like going into the same thing again and again. He hits me. He literally just drives into me. I don't even know how else to say it. He literally drives into me. So he hits the brakes when he sees the doors closing, and then lets go of the brakes and hits the accelerator, and then only hits the brakes again once he's hit. Now, the thing is about this as well is I've done this plenty of times, and like I say, I'm pretty sure everybody's done this multiple times, and I'm gonna do it again at some point. And I think so is everybody else. The best thing to do is we've seen the doors closing. And in our heads, we've just got enough time to get there, but in reality we actually don't. And like in a desperate attempt to actually get there, we've tried to get there, and all we've got is just the front of our nose there, and just turn the guy around in front of us, I've done it so many times, and every time I've done it, I've been like, yeah, that was on me, like, I'm an idiot. I thought I could get there in my head, I could get there, and I just couldn't. I couldn't quite get enough of it there enough, for it to be a legit thing, so just apologise, it happens, we've all done it, move on. It's like the rant over kind of thing, but one last note on it is, yeah, he does that rejoin straight after, which blocks the pack behind us basically. All of them have to check up and come to a stop for him, because he basically just sets off in front of everybody. And then the second thing about it is that second rejoin straight after, like, near the end of the race as well. You cannot comment on somebody else's driving standards when that is the ship that you're pulling yourself. Like, my driving standards are not great. I try to keep it clean, I try to be as safe as possible sometimes, as whatnot. Sometimes I feel like I'm being a bit aggressive and stuff like that. Everybody does. I want to have an aggressive days and be really racist sometimes, but it's just not the way to do it. You don't force situations like that. If you're that person and you start forcing things like that, oh, it's not my fault. Yeah, it is. That door was closing. You could see the door was closing before you got there, and you've tried to force yourself into it. But I mean, to me, it's an opinion, right? His opinion is, I've crashed us. My opinion is, he's crashed us. Now, what I don't feel is my opinion is that rejoin after, and the rejoin after that. Please do not comment on other people's driving standards if that's the kind of driving standards you're gonna pull. Okay, because it's not on. It's just hypocritical for a start. Anyway, this one's been a bit of a ranty video today. I've been a bit annoyed today with it, really. It's just, normally I wouldn't be triggered by stuff like this. Normally it'd be a case of agree to disagree, move on, go to the next race, whatever. But this one just triggered me this time. This is driving standards I've been encountering recently, and that's not entirely been iRacing's fault. I have been in some of the rookie classes doing like rookie ovals, trying to get my D license and all that rubbish, and you expect a lot of driving standard slips there, but that's a completely different story, and it's fully expected. It's completely understandable there. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of other racing too, and well, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to talk about the driving standards, the force feedback, all the sort of stuff, what you should come to expect as a new player in a different video, because I want to do a full-on like sort of, not a guide, but like just an experience video of being a new player. Because, like I said, I've only really been playing for about 2 months, 2.5 months myself. It says that I've been playing for 6 months, but if you actually check like the racing dates and the iRating, safety rating drop and changes basically, you'll see there's like a 6 month gap from where I didn't race at all, and that's because I had a broken wheel. And well, I could have replaced it in between. I was just working way too much, there was no point, I would have never had time to do anything anyway, so... Anyway, that's it for the video, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, comment, do all that funky jazzy YouTube stuff, and just, well, stay safe out there. Peace out.
Looks like your car is towed. You'll need a tow back to pit lane.